Hi everyone, it's Danielle. I'm doing a overview of Point Galaxy. This is going to be from a solo perspective, but a lot of the rules related to the player will apply to multiplayer. So if you're just going to play multiplayer, that works too. So this is all set up. I won't bore you with how to set up. It's pretty easy to set up. Just follow the rulebook. But we do have the starting suns here. These are not technically the starting sun cards. They don't have the S on them, but I did grab two sun cards just to demonstrate that you would put two sun cards at the start of the game. The starting sun cards were added after I printed these files out, so um, that's why. All right, and then you'll also grab one of the rockets that you're not using, put it face down to the left of the tableau in this specific position. So this is how the rocket will go around this tableau. It's just going to keep going around and around and around and coming back around here throughout the game. And this will tell me where the AI will end up choosing their cards. So on your turn, both you and the AI will draft two cards. So as I just mentioned, the AI will always draft two cards depending on the, I guess, orientation of this rocket. The rocket will always point towards the direction you'll be grabbing those two cards for your opponent. So as an overview of how the rockets work as well, since they're all out here, the opponent will grab rockets if they have 5 moons. I'm sorry, 5 rocket icons in their tableau. They will grab a rocket token from the top left and then going around. The rulebook does say to put the 10 tokens across, so you go left to right. Just to save some space for me, I did have them in 2 rows, and I would just be getting them from left to right, top to bottom type of deal. So just to set up an example, I'm just gonna start populating some of my Tableau items here. And I'm calling it Tableau. I don't really know if the rulebook will really call it that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna just do that, and then I'll grab this 5 actually. And this will just simulate kind of a few turns of where I had grabbed. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have taken at least 3 turns. So let me just grab this as well as another. Okay, so this will simulate about 3 of my turns. And I do want to explain how each of these cards work at this point. All right, so say I want to grab a planet card. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab this 4. So this is a planet card. It has a number 4 and a purplish planet icon to it. So how you would place this planet card is it would be in a specific solar system. So a solar system will be made up of columns. And I might need to, rearrange and get more space to add more solar systems. But I do have a solar system right now that has a sun and 2 planets, a sun and 2 planets, and then a solar system with just a planet right now. So as you can see, a solar system doesn't need a sun or anything above it just yet. It could also just have a planet, and you can always add a sun after the fact. But let's take a look at this planet. It does have that number 4, like I mentioned, and we already have some planets placed here. We have a 5 and a 7, and this is a 7 and a 4, and this is a 5. When you place a planet, a solar system will have a sequence. A sequence is based off of the numbers. So in this solar system, the numbers are in ascending, meaning they're getting larger as you go down. And then this solar system is actually descending. The numbers are decreasing as you go down. So this is a 7, that's a 4. This is a 4 as well. So another thing to note is you can't place the same number on top of the number or behind the number that is the same number as the card you're about to place. They have to be unique numbers in the sequence you're placing it in. So right now, my options to place this 4 could be just behind this sequence. So it's a 4, 5, 7 in ascending order. So that would work just fine. I could also place it here as a descending order sequence as well. Or I could decide to make this solar system into ascending order because I have that option when there's only one planet in the solar system. The sequence hasn't really been defined if there's just one planet in there. But I would not be able to place it here at all because there's already a 4 in this sequence. So I'll decide to place this into descending order uh, on here, 5, 4. And next, let me just refill this. We'll just do one more planet card example. So I have this 7. Say I had drafted this 7. I would not be able to place it here because there's a 5, 7 already. And I would not be able to place it here either because there's a 7 already in this sequence. But looking at this solar system, 5, 4, I could place this into the sequence and continue the descending order pattern. So we have that there. And as you can tell, you don't need to have all the numbers in a sequence. You can skip them. So for instance, here, I went from 5 to a 7. I went from 7 all the way down to a 4. And then there's definitely some gaps between the 7 and the 5 here. So let's try to find the next sun card, just for example's sake. I didn't really set up the deck so I could go through exactly how I wanted to in this order, but I wanted to talk about the sun cards. And these are placed above a card sequence in a solar system. Each solar system can only have one single sun card, and it could be placed into an existing solar system that already has other cards. So as you can see, I won't be able to actually place this sun anywhere else except for this solar system. And this solar system doesn't have a sun, so we will place that sun card right there. Sun cards will provide scoring conditions for the specific solar system that's in, and it's only based on the cards that are placed in that solar system. So sometimes it is beneficial to place a sun card in your solar system after you've had some cards already in that solar system. So now let's talk about the moon cards. So we have 2 moon cards here that I'll show you. And they actually are very interesting cards. So they actually will specify um, how they can be placed. There's requirements. So for this one, this moon card can be placed between 2 planets that are of these colors. And that means it will be placed between. So the planet above it and the planet below it must be orange. And then for this one, it specifies that it must be one of these colors and in between one of these, one of each of these colors. So you can see here, there's like a line and a half. So you need one of each color. So for this example, I won't be able to place this moon into any of my solar systems. I don't actually have a purple planet right now that is next to a blue planet. So I'm just going to put this right back onto the pile. And then we'll place this moon because we actually do have cards in the sequence of the colors mentioned here. So again, this is going to be requiring 2 planets that are orange. So we're going to go ahead and place them in our solar system like this. Because these two, the 5 and the 7, are orange planets that meets the moon's requirements. So we have the moons that also have victory points, as you saw on the top right of those cards, and you'd only score those if the moons were placed in a way that the requirement was fulfilled. You actually could still place moon cards. So for instance, if I wanted to place this moon card, even though I didn't have the required colors, I could still place it. I could place it right here. I won't gain those 3 points on that card, but it could lend itself to the sun, which requires moons in the solar system. So that could also be helpful. So you could think about how you want to apply your moon cards, even when it doesn't meet the requirements of where you're about to place it in your solar system. So next we have asteroids. So we have this card here, and this will actually be tucked behind sun cards. Only one asteroid card can be tucked behind a sun card. So the number of asteroid cards you are able to draft is limited by the number of sun cards that you have. So if I already had an asteroid tucked behind here, one tucked already here, if there happened to be another asteroid kind of face up on the deck like this, I would not be able to draft both of these because I would not be able to place one of them. So when you draft a card, you have to be able to place it. And again, as you draft your asteroid cards, you have to make sure that there's a sun to place them behind. And then asteroid cards are cool because depending on how many you have in your entire galaxy, compared to other players, that's how you determine your score. So there's most, second, and third scoring. So depending on how many asteroids you're able to draft and place in your galaxy, that could determine your scoring in a multiplayer game. In a solo game, you are also comparing it to just the opponent. So they are also going to be collecting asteroid cards as well throughout the game. And then lastly, we have wormholes. So this wormhole is pretty neat as well. They can actually be placed in any solar system, and they can be tucked, above or below any existing card sequence. And it could be used to start a new solar system as well. So you don't just need planets or moons to start a new solar system. Um, actually, moons won't be able to do it, I don't think. But wormholes, you can. And so what's interesting about this is that, as you can see from this icon, it resets the sequence for you. So if I were to place it here, I'd be able to create new sequences. So say I drafted this 3. This solar system was going to be ascending. That was the original sequence. But now that I have this wormhole, I can start a new sequence and place this 3 just like that. So now let's talk about some of the symbols we're seeing. So we have rockets, and the rockets look like, yeah, they look like this. And as you place your cards into your solar systems, you should be counting how many rockets you have. Basically, every 5 rockets that you have, you'll be able to grab one of these scoring tokens, and these will help you gain more points at the end of the game. So like this one would be 3 for every 2 wormholes. And then, of course, the AI is going to be competing with you, but you know they're taking tokens from the top row left to right. So that's how those rocket tokens work. And then research tokens, they actually look like this. That's a research token with a specific letter. And that really pertains to more of the endgame scoring. So each player would score points for unique research symbols found on their cards. And then based on that number is how many points you would get. So say you had, in this case, there's G, C, F. Those are 3 different ones, and that would score you 3 points. If you had 7 different ones, you would get 12 points. So that's really quickly how you would play as a player. As the AI opponent, again, they will be drafting based off of where this icon or rocket is. And so they would be just grabbing cards from the top. So just to go through how they place certain cards, they place a sun card just in a pile. So we'll just place it just like this, and just as easy as that. And then we have asteroids. They also are going to be placed in a pile just like that. Wormhole cards are also going to be placed in a pile. So you just start piles like that as they draft them. And then you'll be placing the planet cards into columns though. So that's kind of where it's a little bit similar to how a player might play. So say they are drafting these 2 cards, they're going to be placing them into columns of unique numbers. It's not going to be a sequence. So, it doesn't matter what order they're placing it in. So say this is just their first solar system, it's a 4-3, and then later on they're drafting additional cards, and we see a 7 and a 4. We're looking at the column of the solar system that they already have, and then we're placing unique numbers into that column. So right now I have a 7 and 4 in my hand that they drafted. They can only place the 7 into this solar system because the 4 already exists. And as soon as there's a number that already existed, that will form a new solar system. So they're just going to continue filling in their solar system until they can't, meaning there's a duplicate of that number already in that system. And then the same goes for the rockets. As soon as they have 5 rockets, they will check and grab the leftmost, topmost rocket token, and then they'll place it next to their galaxy. The game will end up ending after 13 turns because you would have removed a certain amount of cards in the solo game, so that only 13 turns can be taken between you and the AI opponent. All right, well, that was a really quick overview of how to play. The solo mode scoring is all in the rulebook, so definitely reference that on how to score for both yourself and the solo opponent. But I hope you enjoyed this overview. If you have any questions or if I happen to make any mistakes, definitely let me know. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. A like or comment is also always appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Bye.